about to watch episode 9, so you know what that means.
Well, anybody who's a fan of Game of Thrones actually knows what that means. Because it's interesting the way why they decided to stay on her perspective and her point of view leading into this moment. Like, not Sansa, not from Ned's point of view, but from Arya.
I can't tell if he just saw her.
I think it did. I think it did.
Baelor!
Yeah, because he tells him. Yeah, he saw it. The wonder line. Look away, child. I think that's what he says. Oh.
And she just looking, she just smiling and shit.
Well, she thinks that that Joffrey's gonna pardon him and send him to the wall.
That's right. That's right.
I am Eddard Stark, Lord of Winterfell.
Like once he confesses
And hand
with
of the
Joffrey,
king.
that.
I come before you to confess my treason in the sight of gods and men. I betrayed the faith of my king and the trust of my friend Robert. I swore to protect and defend his children, but before his blood was cold, I plotted to murder his son and seize the throne for myself. Let the High Septon and Baelor the Blessed bear witness to what I say. Joffrey Baratheon is the one true heir to the Iron Throne. By the grace of all the gods, Lord of the Seven Kingdoms, and Protector of the Realm.
As we sin, so do we suffer. This man has confessed his crimes in sight of gods and men. The gods are just, but beloved Baelor taught us they can also be merciful. What is to be done with this traitor, Your Grace?
My mother wishes me to let Lord Eddard join the Night's Watch. Stripped of all titles and powers, he would serve the realm in permanent exile. And my lady Sansa has begged mercy for her father. But they've the soft hearts of women. So long as I am your king, treason shall never go unpunished. Sir Ilyn, bring me his head.
Shit, you know I haven't seen that since I first saw it.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn. That shit. I mean, and it's so weird, like, watching it last year for the first time and being, like, 6 seasons removed from the show. Like, you hear people talk, so I knew he was dead. But it still doesn't change the fact when you actually see it. And, like, even with the Red Wedding, like, I knew about that, but, like, when I fucking saw it, I was like, yo. And just, like, with that, just the way it was directed and the way that it was shot and, like, the characters and how everything, oh man, it was just, it's heartbreaking. I mean, I can only imagine, like, watching it when it actually aired, thinking that, what's his name?
Ned.
His real,
Sean.
Sean Bean was, like, the star of the show.
Yeah.
And fucking, like, then that happens, and you're like, wait a minute, what?
I was gonna say, like, when this show initially aired, and you get to this episode, and you get to that moment, like that, I think at least for me, I don't know if you can comment, but I think at that particular moment, it made me go, okay, so it set a particular tone, like all cards off, everything's fair game now, because even in this episode, I'm looking at Rob when he was coming back from the battle and his mother was relieved. Like this, at that moment right there, I'm looking at Rob, and I'm just thinking this show is setting all these different people, like his character, even at this point in the show, is so rich and is so integral to the story. Mm-hmm. But knowing that he's going to perish in the Red Wedding, it's interesting seeing how this show treats each character. Even if this character is going to die, like early on, they're still going to give this character a huge importance in the overall, not just
their story, but it's overarching throughout the entire series. Yeah. I mean, case in point, we see that with Ned Stark in the last season, and how his presence has rippled through his family, through Sansa, Arya, Jon, everybody. It's just like you still feel that, like 7-8 years later. Yeah. And like you said, that's a testament to the show, and to these characters.
And for me, when this happened, I had not been used to something like this, because when you watch TV series, this is the equivalent of like Walter White dying in the 9th episode of the first season. When you're thinking like, ain't the show about this dude, right? And then you go, okay, and because for me, like it was unprecedented. There was a sense of like almost unease in every episode or in every season. Like, man, like anybody can go at any time. And because for me this is a unique experience regarding like television. I don't know. I just remember like being astonished that they did that. And I was like, wait, this is the 9th. This ain't even the season finale.
I know, it's not even the season finale.
Like, what kind of show is this? And so I just remember thinking like, is HBO like rewriting how you do long form narrative? Like, what the fuck? Like, is that?
I mean, this was around that time. I mean, you gotta think 2011, 2010, Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones, Walking Dead. I mean, that was kind of like the change in this new age, this new era of television that we have now, with long form television really being like the main thing that we use is like, for adult storytelling. Yeah.
And I know some people are gonna be like, well, that's how it happens in the book. But again, yeah, it's in the book. But for TV, that's like For TV, like that's there. I don't know that there's ever been anything like that. At least from mine.
No, not anything I can think of at the moment. But yeah, man, that was powerful, man. Like I said, we talked about this before in some of the other episodes in season 1, where you just look at these quieter moments and these conversations between characters and how these little small, most people may look at it as throwaway scenes, have huge impacts moving forward.
Yeah.
And you see that sprinkled throughout, and that's a great thing going back and rewatching this. You see all that stuff, like even the stuff with Jorah's sword, stuff like that, and then hearing Tyrion's story about his wife, like all these different things that's going to play a part, whether big or small, later on in later seasons. So This is a really, really strong season. Yeah.
You know what? Because I think what you just said specifically owes its debt to the fact that this is based off of a book that's already been written.
True.
At least this season, because they know. Because you think a regular TV show, they work a season at a time. They know, like, all right, well, we're gonna write this character, and he's gonna be this way in episode 1 of season 1, and by the end of season 1, he's gonna be this way. They might have an idea of some things that could happen, like 4, 5, 6 seasons, but they're not sure if they're even gonna have, extra seasons like that. So I don't even think that normal TV shows write out that far, like intricate plot points out that far. But because this has, they have that source material, they know
they can plan that stuff out
and plan those callbacks a lot better. Yeah. And I think that's the strength of the show.
That's awesome. Well, that's episode 9. My battery's about to die, so we'll be right back with the season finale of season 1.